Okay, then let's see some basic information about JDBC. Not basic, advanced also. Okay, so I will write it down. Side by side, I will give you the idea of database connectivity also. Right? Okay, so we are going to learn something called JDBC. Okay, the full form of JDBC is Java Database Connectivity. Okay. Now, Java.sql package gives us classes and interfaces in which we can use to connect front end with back end. Now there is something called JDBC architecture. The first is classes and second is interfaces. Okay. So these are the sophisticated architecture. Now, what are the classes? So classes are like, we have a class with the name class. Okay, so the name of the class itself is a class. Okay, then we have driver manager class, which we are going to use for connection purpose. We have driver class, which will store the driver of that particular database. Then we have something called prepare statement. Prepare statement is the interface, not a class. Okay. Then we have connection class. Okay. We have database metadata class and many more. Interfaces which we have is statement, prepare statement, and callable statement. Okay, and we have third point as drivers. Okay, so in Java we have 4 types of drivers. That is simple driver 1, driver 2, driver 3, and driver 4. Okay, right. So we have 4 types of drivers, namely driver 1, driver 2, driver 3, and driver 4. Now this driver 1 is now no more in our JDK 8. From JDK 8, driver 1 is removed from the JDK 1 from JDK 8. Okay, so we can say here I will just type for your reference. This driver is now removed. This driver now removed from JDK 1.8. From JDK 1.8. Okay, so which driver we are going to use? You're going to use a driver 4. So we are going to use driver 4. Okay, इसको और एक नाम है, इसे we say this particular driver as vendor specific driver. Okay. First driver name is JDBC ODBC bridge driver. They are having some names. Okay, so these are the drivers. The name of this first driver is JDBC ODBC driver. Second driver which we use is native API driver. Okay. Third one is partial Java driver. Okay, so these are the names of the particular drivers. Okay. Now, I will just put a line here so that you can find it separate. Okay, now let's understand the steps of data connection. Okay, steps for doing JDBC or data connection. Okay, so we have some steps, total 7 steps are there. Few people are in the lobby, so let me add them. Good. So we have ample amount of students. We have total 36 to 37 students. That is really a nice number for bootcamp. Okay. So steps for doing JDBC or data connection. First step. These are 7 steps. Okay. First step is import the required driver. Import the required driver. So how you will import the driver? You will say import java.sql.star. This is the way we declare the package or include the package. Second, do exception handling. Do exception handling. So here we will use try catch block to handle the exceptions, right? Third one we have is load the driver. Load the driver. So we have 2 ways to load the driver using driver class. So we can say driver D equal to new driver, and in bracket we can give the name of the driver. Okay, like this, name of the driver. I will just take it below. Yeah, name of the driver. Okay, so this is how we declare the driver object, and we need to use another thing called as driver manager dot register, and in bracket we have to use that driver object. So this is the first way to join or to connect, or you can say to load the driver in operating system. Another way is we can use class dot for name. This is the one which we are going to use. Here you will specify the driver name. Okay, now each database have their own set of drivers. If you are connecting with Oracle, there is a driver for Oracle, or you can have jar file for the Oracle. If you want to connect with the SQL server, there is another file, jar file for the SQL server. If you want to use MySQL, you have another jar file for connection, right? So I'm going to use MySQL in my demo. Fourth step is connect, or you can say establish connection. Establish connection. So how you will establish the connection? You will say connection on. On is the object. Okay? Equal to driver manager dot get connection. And here you will specify URL, comma, username, and comma, password. So this is the one which we are going to use to connect the driver. Okay, then we have fifth step. We have a fifth step called execute the query, or you can say execute the SQL query. Okay, so what parameters or what interfaces you have? You have 3 interfaces. First is statement. 5.2 is prepare statement, and 5.3 is callable statement. Okay. Let me check if someone. No one is entering. Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, so we have statement interface, prepare statement, callable statement. So these are the interfaces which we are going to use for executing the query. Okay, then sixth one which we have is it is for collecting the result set. Collecting the result set. Result set means what? Data which is retrieved from database. That data we are going to store in result set. Okay, then we have a last step called close all objects. Close all objects. So whatever objects you have opened, that need to be closed. Okay, it is not mandatory, it is optional. So if you want to close the object, you can close it, or else you can keep it open, no issues at all. So once you understood these 7 steps, you will able to do the connection, database connection. Okay, so let's start working on it. So I will here I will open one project, new project, right? Just wait. So say file, new, okay. File, new, project. So if you are not able to see here project, you can click on project here, and then you can choose option called Java project. Okay, say next. Okay, give some name here, say database connectivity. Okay, now all the things will remain same. Just say use default GR. This only you have to select. Now which version we are using? We are using JDK 1.8 version. Okay, and say next. So you don't have to do much here. Give the project name and click on this use default JR and say next. Okay, what you will do here, you will not do anything here. You will just say finish. You will just say finish. Okay, now we decided to use a driver 4. So for driver 4, we will right click on the project. Okay, we will right click on this project, database project. Otherwise, I will close so that it will not confuse you. Okay, so I'll close this and this also. Thanks. Okay, very good. Now open this data. Here as my pack. I'm giving a name as my pack. Click on finish. Now, what you need to do is you need to add a jar file for MySQL. So how to add that? So just right click on project and go to properties. Right click on project, project name, and go to properties. Okay, so you can see here there is a property option. Okay, so just click there. Once you click, you have to go in Java build path. You have to go in Java build path, and you have to click on add external jar. You have to click on external jar, and you have to take this particular jar file. So version has to be same. Okay, version has to be same. It is MySQL-Director-Java-5.1.18b. This jar file only works with database. Other jar files will not be used or will not be beneficial for us. So we are going to take a MySQL connector 5.1. Okay, say open. You will find that particular file here and say apply and okay. Okay, so you can see that file here also. See, here it will show you that file. Not here, reference. Okay, so in reference, you can see that connector file. Right now, what I want to do, I want to create a table. I want to create a table in database. Okay, so let me open MySQL first, and then I will show you how to write a program to create the table, to insert the record, to delete the record, to update the record, and to remove the record. Okay, so that operations we will see, that is called as CRUD operation. Okay, so where is my MySQL? Here it is. Just go here and say click. Okay, now this is the my MySQL which I am using in my demo. So my password for MySQL is pass. Okay, MySQL pass. Okay. Now here you can create database, create table, insert value, select value, delete value, remove a value. But we are not going to touch this database every now and then. We will just check it for the confirmation whether this particular program executed or not. Okay, so right click on this data my pack, then go to class. So I'm really giving a name as JDBC1, or you can be specific and say create table. Okay, so I'm giving a class name as create table. I want main method here, and I will say finish. So this is how I have created this class. Very simple, as we have created in last lecture. Similarly, we have to do it here also. Now you can see you have a class, right? Now what you will do, first step, what is the first step? See, what is the first step? Import required package. So which package is required? java.sql. So say import java.sql.star. Dot star means you will get all the classes and interfaces from this package. That is why we have to say dot star. Okay, semicolon. Fine. Now what you will do, yeah, this error will go. Yeah. Now what you need to do is second step. Second step is about do the exception ending. What we say, do the exception ending. Now how to do exception ending? Very simple. Try catch. Okay. Now you will get some more exposure when we start the batch. Right now I'm just telling you that it is used for handling exception. Nothing more than that because we don't have that much time to learn. Okay, so this is, I have created e-object for exception class, and here I am going to throw the exception. Okay, so I will say here, check the driver. Generally, exception, the exception generally which we use is, or we get is driver specific. Okay, so I have specified that check the driver. Okay, now I'm going to put the driver, or load the driver. So I will say here class.forName. Okay, so we will say here class.forName. Okay, and in bracket we will write down the driver name. Okay, so driver name, exact driver name we require. So for that purpose, I am going to D drive examples in new data 2020. Here you can see the package which or folder which I use is new folder 2020 new data 2020. Now inside that you can go to Java PRG. Okay, so you can select Java from here. Say Java. This is the subfolder I have created. Okay, here it is. There is Java folder. Give me a second. I will show you that. So inside new data, we should use a driver name. So I'm using a driver. Okay, inside this, I have to go to examples first. Okay, and inside example, you will get that. So in example, you have another folder called example. In that, you will have a folder called Java PRG. Okay, so let it come Java PRG. Okay. So this is the one. Inside that, there is a folder called HB. HB stands for Hibernate. So I use this particular data in Hibernate also. So I have kept it in this folder. And here I will go to this particular EX. And here you can see that particular driver name. Okay, this Hibernate also you can learn when you join the class or online online classes. So you will able to learn this Hibernate also. It's very easy and very interesting to learn. So I have just right click here because my driver name is here. So open with Notepad. Okay, and I show you where is that. Click on Notepad, and this is the driver. This is how we set the driver. com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Okay, so which database, which type of vendor I'm using? I'm using vendor called MySQL. So I have just provided here. Okay, then we have to create a connection object. This is the fourth step. We will say connection dot for name. In bracket, you will write the URL. Okay, and username and password. So username is root, ROOT, and password is pass. Okay, now we will specify the URL. So here we need to pass URL. That also I will get from here. So this is the URL. Okay, so I'm storing it here. This is how you have to do it. I will open this file so that you can see the entire code. Here we go. So connection for name. Okay, it is giving me error. Let me check why this error is. The method for name. Okay. This is with class now. So here you have to say connection con equal to driver manager. This is the class you have to use, and the method is get connection. Okay, now it will not give error. So we use for name while loading the driver, and while creating the connection, we use driver manager. Okay, now it is correct. Okay, and here I will specify the URL. So I have already specified here. So I will just put a bracket here. Okay, like this. Okay, so you can see it entirely in a one line. Okay, so this is how we do. We say connection con equal to driver manager dot get connection, and inside get connection we will specify the uh, vendor name, that is MySQL. Localhost means my current laptop. 3306 is the port number of MySQL, and MyDB is a database. So MyDB database is I'm going to create here. So I will say create database MyDB. Then the database exists. So it is saying you have already have a database called MyDB. So no problem. I have it, so I will not create it. Okay. So first step was to import the package. Second step is for doing what do you say, exception handling. Third step is loading the driver. Fourth step is establishing the connection with the database, and fifth will be statement. So now you are going to use a statement. So statement stmt equal to con dot prepare statement. So this is the object which we use to execute the SQL query. To execute a SQL queries. Here you will say create statement. Create statement. I hope you are understanding it. If you have any issue, you can ask. So here I'm going to create the statement object. So this is the way I have created it. Now I will execute it. So say stmt dot execute. Now why execute? There are actually there are three methods. Okay, we have three methods. I will write it down in our notepad. So here we have total three methods. First is execute, means if you want to execute query on database, then you can use it, but it will not return any rows from database. Whereas you have execute query. Now this particular method will retrieve the data. This will retrieve data from the table. And there's execute update also. So execute update is used to update the data, or you can say to update the database. Okay, so these are the three methods you have. Now my requirement is to just create a table. I don't want to collect the data set. So I don't want any data from the table. I want only query should execute on the database. I don't want anything in return. Okay, so that's why I have using a method called execute. Here I will say create table. Say I will give some name to it. Say student 101. Okay, and I will give the column name here. No, that is number. Then name, that is character column. This is a data type, and then we have address, for example, for character data type. Okay, so this is the way how we have created it. So it should be in double quotes. So we have started the packet here, we have completed here, and give the semicolon at the end. Right? So this table will close here. Right? Have you understood this? I hope you are understanding it. Now I have to just say table created. Okay, so give some acknowledgement to the user. Say table created successfully. Okay. Yeah. Now what you will do, simply right click and run the program. So right click and say run as Java application. Okay. Just expand this so that you can see the console. Now you can see the console. Okay, console is not visible here, so we can take it from window. Yeah, we got a console. See, so my answer is table created successfully. Now let's see in our database. Okay, so my database is MyDB. So what I will do, I will say do's MyDB. So I entered in the database. Now I will say show tables. Show table. So this will show me my table. Here it is, student 101. Okay, so we have successfully created this particular query, executed the query. This particular query, SQL query, we have executed, and we have able to create student table, right? So this is the program which will create the table. Now I want to insert the records in the same table. So what I will do, I will go for new example first. So right click, say new class. I hope you are live and you are understanding it. Let me check. Yeah. Fine. So there is no one to enter. Fine. No problem. So give something, some name, the insert record I'm using. I want main method inside the class. So I will click on this and I will say finish. Okay. So what will happen? I will get main method inside the class automatically. I don't have to write the main method. Okay. Now again, you will follow the steps. So first step is what? Import the package. Import java.sql.star. So we have successfully completed the first step. We have successfully completed the first step. Now second step is to handle the exception. So put try catch block here, right? So try catch block will handle the exception if any. So exception generally arrived at the runtime. Okay, so here you can give some message to it, or you can just print E. So E will print the exception message. Okay, now first two steps are common. So I will just simply do the copy paste. So I will take these two lines. Okay, copy it and paste it here. So here third and fourth step is loading the driver and establishing the connection. So in class is the name of the class, for name is a method, and I'm using which database? MySQL. What I'm doing for connection, I'm giving URL. This is called as URL, where I said I want to create and store the data in my own PC and the port number of MySQL, that is 3306, and the database is MyDB. Okay, so this is the way how we establish the connection. Now let's create the statement. Now remember, right now also I don't want anything to be returned from the database. I just want to execute the query and database. So as we have executed create table, similarly here we will use insert into. Okay, so you will say a statement stmt equal to con dot create station, con dot create statement. Okay, after doing that, you can say stmt dot execute, in bracket you will say insert into what is the table name? Table name is student 101 values. So here I will specify roll number as 0, name as Amit, and address is say USA. Okay, so this is the way how I have done it. Now use execute it and you will find that record is inserted. So just give the acknowledgement that data is saved or data is inserted. Successfully. Okay, now execute it. Just right click here and say Java application. Okay. Now you will get the acknowledgement data inserted successfully. See here. So our program is correct. No errors are there. Now you can go to database and fire a query called select star from, what is the table name? Student 101. So you will get that record here. So this is how we have inserted the record. Okay, initially we have created the table and now we have inserted record in the database or in table. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept this value from user. I'm going to accept this value from user. Right now it is hard coded. Hard coded means, for example, 10 times you execute this program, you will get the same value 10 times. Okay. So, but I want every run should be a new data. Okay. So I will right click here, new class. Okay. Insert record from user. Okay. We want main method. Just finish it. Now follow the steps. Very simple. 7 steps are there. Within 7 steps, database connection got completed. So import java.sql sql.start. This is the first step. Second step going to be a exception handling. So you can just say here try catch. Exception E, okay, and print the exception message using sysout by pressing E. Okay, now again I said these 2 lines are same, so I will just simply copy paste it. Here I have done the copy paste and my connection got established. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to declare some variables because we want to store the data from user. So we have number, then we have 2 string columns. One is address and one is name. Okay, now inside this, what you will do is you say sysout and ask user to enter number first. Okay, ask user to enter number first. So see, enter student number. Okay, now you require scanner also because you want to read the data from console. So we require a scanner here, system.in. It is an object of system class which I am using. In our OOP concepts, I have told you that we have 3 objects of system, that is in, out, and ERR. Okay, so from them I'm using is in object. Now for this scanner, we require a package called as util. So I have imported it. Now you can see the error is gone. The error is not there now. Okay. Now you have say enter student number. So user will enter the number. So what you will do, you will scan that number. So you say number equal to sc.nextInt. sc.nextInt. Okay. Then you are going to write another statement. Say enter student name. Okay. So you will user will enter the name. So you catch it. So you will say here name equal to sc.next. sc.next. And you go for another input, that is enter student's address. Okay. Now just read that address in the variable. So just click here. Just click here. Okay. And say address equal to sc.next. So now we got the input from user. Now we have to just map this variables with the database operation. So what you will do now, you will create an object of prepared statement. You will say prepared statement. Okay, PSPMT, that is object equal to con.prepare statement. This time it is prepare. Last time we have create statement. You have now prepared statement. So here you can say insert into student 101 values. Okay. So first question mark is for number, second question mark is for name, and third question mark is for address. Okay, so this is the way how you have mapped it. So when I execute this particular program, what will happen? Number will be replaced. This question mark will be replaced with the number. Second question mark will replace with the name, and third question mark will be also replaced by address. Okay. Now we need to provide the logic. So what is the logic here? So you will say pstmt.setInt. SetInt means you want to set the number. So say first, that means first question mark, and here you can use number variable, which we have just now scanned. So number I have provided here. And say pstmt not set string. Why string? Because data type is character for this. So second question mark and the variable name is name. Correct? And the third question mark also we need to replace. It is also a string data type. So set string. Third is address. Right? So here specify the character and say address. Okay. And now we are ready to execute it. So say execute. Still, I don't want anything from user. Still, I don't want anything from user. So I have used execute. Okay. And just give message as system sees out, say data inserted. Okay. Now let's check it. Let's check it. So right click here and go to run as application. You know? It's very simple. So here it is asking you student number. So I'm giving student number as 2. Student name I'm giving Himanshu. Enter address I'm giving as say UK. Okay, enter. Now, okay, now you got the message as data inserted. Okay, let's check it in database whether we got this Himanshu value. Yes, we have this value in database. So we have succeeded in this program. Bingo, right? So we are able to create the table. We are able to insert the record. We are also able to insert the record after accepting value from user. Okay, now I want to print this record. I want to print this record. Or you can just try it for second value. So this is going to be like the interface from where you are going to insert the record, whatever user have entered. So here you can insert the student record again. So say 3, say Nikhil, on say John, and addresses again say USA. Enter. So you will get a message as data inserted. So this is the third record we are going to insert. So just check it here in database. So you can get that particular John record. So it's very simple. Very, very simple. Right? Now I want to display this data. I want to display this data on the Java program. I want to display data on the Java program. Okay. So what I will do, I will right click here, say new class. So here we are going to view the record. So the table name, the class name should be meaningful. View record. Main method. Okay. Okay. As steps, first import the package java.sql.start. Correct. It's coming in between. Okay. Right. Second step is to do the exception handling. So try catch. Okay. Here you can immediately write down the exception, cease out. Print the exception message using E. Then go to your program and copy paste this particular thing. So copy and paste it. So the third and fourth step also we have completed. Okay. Now I want data from the database. In this exercise, I want data to be retrieved from database table. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create object of statement first. Statement STMP equal to con dot create statement. So this is the way how we create the statement object. Now this statement object will execute the query on database. Okay. Now you will say here result set. It is an interface again. RS is the object of it, and I will say STMP dot execute query. Now see, I am using execute query. Okay, because I want data from database. That's why I've done it. Now, which query you will use? You will use select star from student 101. Correct? And then semicolon. Now, what will happen? Now, this query will hit on database and retrieve the data of student 101 table and put it into RS. Okay, so this query will execute on database. This query will execute on database, and whatever data it got, that will be stored in rs variable, okay, or object it is, okay. Then say while rs dot next. So we are making sure that if record is there, then only give me, otherwise don't wait for that particular data, okay. And here you will say sys out. Okay, here we don't want println because we want data on the single line, okay, right. Then here you will say rs dot get number, okay. So you will get the number, or you can say, you can just say get number, and which column of for student number, which column is used first. So we'll say get number first, or get int rather. I'm very sorry, it should be a get int method, not number. Okay. Now keep some tab, so there will be distance in two columns. Then go for concatenating another rs dot. Here you will use get string. Why get string? Because I'm retrieving character data. Okay, so it is on second column, right? Then I will say plus /t. So there will be a space between rs dot get string is third also string. So say third here, right? And we have done it. Okay, we have completed the program, right? Let's execute it now. Okay, here I have not given space, so that is why it is showing error. So say plus. Okay, now run this. Say run as application. Now you can see the data over here. It's taking its own time to fetch the record. See here, we got one Amit USA, we got two Himanshu UK, we got three John USA. Right now, what had happened is I haven't given /n here. That is why it is in one line. So what you do here is specify /n. Then you go for fetching the data. Okay, now you can see on different lines. It's like a database table. Right, now it is coming proper. Right, so this is how we are going to retrieve the record. Have you understood today's session? There are a lot many things to do. We can update the record, we can delete the record, we can retrieve a specific user record. So we can do a lot many things with the database. But as it is a boot camp, so I have just introduced yourself for this. What is the use of connecting SQL with Java? Okay, what basically we are doing is we are creating a small project where we are going to insert the record and we are going to view the record. So from where you are going to insert it? From Java program. So you need to connect Java program with the database. Similarly, if you want to read the data from table, you need to connect with the database. Okay, so it's like a Java connecting with the database. So if you want to connect Java with the database, you will not able to execute the queries. And that is why it is very necessary to connect Java with the database. Is that question answered? Understood or not? Okay, what about others? Have you understood the today's session? Is it fruitful, or just to make it? Have you understood this entire three programs? Okay, so now you are responding. Very nice. What Monica is asking, instead of MySQL, can we use SQL Server? Yes, Monica. You can use Oracle, you can use SQL Server, you can use any database. Jaslyn is asking, sir, what is the connecting? So I have answered it. Very good. Okay, yes. It was interesting. Thank you, Anamat. Pankaj, thank you very much, guys. Yes, understood. Okay. Okay, yes, very good. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you, everyone. So we will end the session, and tomorrow we are going to see Spring. Okay, so we will create one application, a small kind of a small kind of purchasing the product, displaying the product, editing the product, and deleting the product. So that we will do tomorrow using Spring. Okay. So for the today, I'm ending this particular session. Okay. Do you have any questions? Any questions? You can speak. You can unmute yourself and you can speak. Okay. So is this bootcamp worked or not? Have you getting benefited from this bootcamp or not? Yes. Okay, so you can see this is the way I teach. So once you take the admission, we will go in detail. Now this is just specific things I'm showing because it is just a boot camp, right? How can we access the recorded session? What I will do is